Your well-being as a whole is comprised of your physical health, your emotional health, financial health, and your relationships. And so when any of these things start to take a hit, it can definitely impact you. And if you get with a man who is deficient in any of these, this person could literally attach to you and drain your resources. And so that's the reason why we talk about these men that are looking for a nurse and a purse, or these hobosexuals, or these pests that need to nest and rest in your couch. They burrow in, they attach to you, and they start to drain you. Because if you get into one of these relationships with these parasitic people, it could drain your life force and your well-being. Well, this woman, Krista Monet, she made a set of a couple of posts. She talked about this man sending her text messages. Let's look at them. All right, let's look at this post. She says, I used to talk to this guy. Him, good morning. Me, good morning. How are you? Him, horrible to be honest. Me, why? Him, I don't want to talk about it. Me, I respect that. End of day 1 convo. Day 2, me, I hope today is better for you. Him, it's not, but thanks. Me, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm here to listen if you need to talk. Him, thanks. Nothing for 2 weeks. Him, hey. Me, hey. Him, how are you? Me, I'm good. You. Him, I'm good, I guess. Just wish life was better for me, you know. Me, what do you mean? Him, inflation got me trying to figure out how to keep my head up right now. You probably don't understand because you seem pretty well off from your Instagram. Me, I do well for myself, but I do understand. Him, nah, you don't, but it's cool. Me, okay. Him, and I hate asking people for help. Me, yeah, life crazy like that. Blocked. She blocked him. And I completely understand. And we have talked about this too, how these people will scope your Instagram. They will scope your social media to see how you're living. They will see the restaurants you're going to, how you take care of yourself. Do you keep your nails done? Your makeup? Is your face always, you got that perfect face on? How are your clothes? They are watching you. They are clocking your home and how you're living. Please know and understand that these people are watching for their next host to attach to. So keep that in mind. They are watching you. They're watching your social media because they're looking for a place to burrow. They're looking for a hospice care wife. Please know and understand so that you don't get something attached to you that sucks your life force, sucks your resources until you're down to a husk, and then they can go on to their next host. Let's look at some of the comments because she did get people talking in the comment section. Ira 9 at the bottom says, would have blocked at good morning. So she don't have time for even good mornings anymore. Armina says, I knew this was a soft launch to ask for money or show jealousy that you're doing better. I've had this conversation too many times. And then T. Mulla says, gotta post mine now. Mind you, never met this man, spoke to this man on the phone or anything. Literally met him on social media 10 years ago, and he just recently tapped back in, and she gave her text messages. So May 6th, he says, good afternoon. She didn't respond. And then it looks like yesterday he says, good morning, baby. And then she says, good morning. But look, he sends her a message at 5:51. She sends a message at a reasonable time for a stranger at 9 a.m. He says, how you doing, baby? He says, I'm good. And you? Calling someone baby and you've never met them or talked to them is so inappropriate to me. All right. So she says, I'm good. And you? He says, same. I can't complain. Miss me? Haha. No, I take it. And she says, LOL, how I'ma miss you when I never even been around you? LOL. He says, haha, we can whenever you ready. And then she says, I mean, you ain't never even put in effort to get to know me or even pretend like you want more than to link. So I don't really feel like giving the effort or making time for you, to be honest. And he says, it's not it, haha, cat, but okay. That was at 1:21 p.m. And then at 6:50 p.m., he asked her, "You got Cash App?" What? All right. And then right here, right where he says, "That's not it. Ha ha, cat, but okay." And she says, "Then what is it, sir?" I don't know how she understood what that meant. But okay, let's move on to the point where he asked, "You got Cash App?" She said, "Yeah, why?" And then he finally comes out and asks her, "Can you send me $10 by any chance? Not something I'd ask, but I'm in a bind. Need to get back home. I'm 10 minutes away, but car stopped, but I'm here at the gas station. If you can't, that's fine." And then I guess she ignored that. And then he says, "LOL, imagine." And then she says, "Just seen your call. What are you talking about, imagine?" And nah, I ain't got it. He says, "All good. You know you ignored me. Ha ha. It's okay. I'll figure something out. I ain't mad at you. Just keep it real next time. I'm understanding. Keep it real in that you don't want to give some random man that you've never met any money." And then she says, "Definitely didn't ignore you, but okay, hope it works out for you. You ain't even tried to speak. Now you want some money out of me? It's crazy. For real." And then he says, "What do you mean? I got your number, hit you, etc., and planned on seeing you. I don't want your money, to be frank. I got my own." He sends a picture of his car and says, I'm stuck and out of gas when I was literally 5 minutes away from home. So don't do that to me. Knock it off, shorty." Yo, these people who have no money that think that they're about to get in with a woman. I mean, I understand when you need some money, you have to figure out who's going to be your next host. I'm doing these videos so that women can know and understand how these pests that need to nest and rest think, how these hobosexuals think, like they are literally planning and plotting to attach to you and suck your life force. But he lets her know, "It's all good. I got it figured out." All right, cool. Let's move on to the next comment. So now we have a man weighing in, Jerryon, saying, "I don't know the depth of y'all's relationship, but could he have been truly letting you know how things are? As another black man, I too have been in a tight spot whilst having a master's degree, feeling the weight of all the responsibilities I have, and being too prideful to ask for help if I needed it. Y'all want brothers to be vulnerable and open up, but when they do, they get clowned. That's why a lot of dudes keep things bottled up. And now, if he is truly a bum ninja, then I get it." And so then at the bottom, this person says, "She clearly stated that she never met him before." Like, pay attention. You're reading this whilst having a master's degree and then didn't even fully read the conversation. And that's why Krista says, "Girl, they don't even be reading. Just be ready to leap into the comments to vent." Yes, this person just needed to say something. He had to get that off of his chest. Talking about be vulnerable. His being vulnerable was basically asking this woman for money. And then Lithonia says, "Bad texter, self-deprecating, struggling financially, ill." And to that, Star says, "Heavy on the ill." Then we got Shelly down here saying, "Why do men like this date? If you can't afford you, how can you afford someone else?" And like this person says, "I don't think he was thinking about dating." He's not. He's thinking about where he's going to find his next meal. He's thinking about how he's going to find his next host. Please know and understand, they do not want to date. They want to suck your time, energy, and resources. This is not about dating. Shawnee says, "Usually when a new man you're talking to responds with 'not great,' he's about to ask you for some money." So let's keep this clear. Let's have these conversations as a girl time. We're in a community with each other. We're doing a big community hug. Know and understand the signs of hobosexuality, red flags, all of this stuff, pests that need to nest and rest. So keep this in mind. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This is a wild story. I'm going to start at the end so nobody's mind is blown at the reveal. So this man actually does pass away. This post he made on May 9th says, "Got ghosted the other day after she asked about my doctor's appointment. After I disclosed it was chemo, the conversation got shorter and drier and she stopped replying and ended up blocking my number. Funny enough, I still had her on Snap and her story was, why you trying to talk to MFs if you finna die? What a crazy life I live, man. That was May 9th. From the looks of the Facebook post, it looks like he passed away yesterday, which would have been a full 10 days from the time that he posted about getting ghosted by this young lady. So here's this post, and it went viral, over 27,000 shares. And then in the comments, he's saying, I can't wait to ring that bell at my next session, and I hope she sees it. And then he says, and no, I will not post her at. My conscience is clear, and stooping to her level is beneath me. The laws of reciprocation are real and always gets its due. There were quite a few women in the comment section trying to figure out who she was, but Fabo did not want to tell. But then Lana, for whatever reason, unmasked herself. She says, damn, you ain't even have to low-key cap and try to expose me like that, big dog. But rest in peace, though. Sincerely, the bad guy. So when my homie sent this to my Instagram inbox, as I'm reading this, I know that the people in his comment section want to make him the victim. And I know that he was victimized that day, that, he got that. And it was probably a terrible gut punch, and I understand. But she's not wrong to not want to take on anything that has to do with a person that is sick enough to pass soon. And literally, he did pass 10 days later. I mean, let's be effing for real. These dudes out here leaving their extra pregnant wives or their wives that just had babies because she got stretch marks. Men leave women if they get sick. And these are married people. This woman had no connection to this man. What she did wrong is not completely block him on all socials before she starts talking about this situation. And why would she out herself? Nobody knew who she was. She made those definite mistakes. Like, why would you even say, hey, it's me, I'm the bad guy, unless you just want to drive people to your page? Like, that was completely unnecessary. But this dude is obviously young. He still wants to date or whatnot, and probably had no clue that he was going to pass 10 days later. But still, on her side, she has no responsibility to this man, no connection to this man. It's not her boyfriend. It's not her husband. So, like, why would she take this on? And that's what this woman, Daniika, was saying. The comments full of send-out hoes who harassing the girl who decided she didn't want to be a ninja nurse only for him to kick the bucket a week later. That's what I'm saying. They're about to start harassing this girl. They've made this girl the bad guy in the situation. The bad guy, the villain in this situation is actually Cancer. It's not the girl. Why would the girl want to be going back and forth with this man? That's her business. But they're about to come for her because why? I don't know. It's not her responsibility. And that's what this person, Day or whatever his name says. Aside from ghosting and not covering her tracks properly, she did nothing wrong. You absolutely cannot expect anyone to take on that type of emotional burden. Like, what the heck is wrong with some of these people? This man posts a lot, and my homie was sending me posts that he was making. So he seemed to be kind of a grape apologist. This was a post from May 12th. So this person, Nina, asked this question. If your son graped somebody, you turning them in? And he said, get this jungle jargon off my timeline. Jennifer says monkey chatter, and he says baboon business. So obviously he's not turning in anybody. That kind of says who he is, right? And then he seemed to be that type of person that's in that free Tory type of lane. He reshared this. Y'all do know Tory Lane's not locked up for pew-pewing Meg Thee Stallion. So this seems to be kind of who he is. I was looking through his posts, and I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm not going to say anything. Cancer sucks. I know it sucks for his family and friends, and they want to make somebody the bad guy. I don't think Lana is the bad guy in this situation. Yes, ghosting people sucks. People get ghosted all the time. And yeah, like I said earlier on, men leave their wives, people that they swore that they were going to stick with. I have no I have no issue with this woman deciding that she doesn't want to take this on, but that's me. I do want to know where you land on this situation. You go ahead and chime in. trigger warning for abuse within this marriage. So this woman came to the advice subreddit saying, husband keeps accidentally hurting me. And as I was reading this definitely reads like abuse. So I'm putting that trigger warning right there. Look at these ages off rip. This age gap is atrocious. She's 25, he's 39. So there is a 14-year age gap. She has a 6-year-old child, which means that she had a baby at 19 years old. So that means that he got her pregnant at 18 years old and he was in his 30s. This already is terrible and a bunch of red flags in this very first sentence. Okay, so let's look at the post. She says, I'm 25 turning 26. My husband is 39. We have one child who's 6. For the last, I'd say, month, my husband keeps accidentally hurting me. It started off with him reaching behind to hand our son something and hitting me in the face. We weren't driving. We were just parked in the car and I was in the passenger seat turned around with our son. He reached around to he reached back into the back and his hand hit me. There was another time when he was driving and reached his arm completely over in the passenger seat to point to something and hit me in the face with his finger. Then we were in the middle of moving and I was holding a bag open for him to put a piece of metal box spring in. I wasn't holding the bag tight enough to allow this kind of impact and it ended up falling on my foot and hurt extremely bad. This next one is really, really bad. She says, I had both my legs in the door frame of the car in the garage eating. My feet were inside the door and I was facing my legs outwards with my car door open. He comes in besides the door and talks to me for a minute and then gets some trash out to throw away. Then he shuts the car door on my feet. I started crying. This one hurt so bad. And this is when I got angry. I said, how the hell did you not see me there? You were standing right beside me and saw I had my feet propped up and my legs facing outward and you shut the door on me? Now, last night while asleep, he told me to move over B word. I asked him why he told me this, and he basically called me a liar and said that never happened. Then he tried to tell me I must have been the one sleeping and dreamt it. I said I have text to prove I was awake. I couldn't go back to sleep after that and was so confused I was on social media responding to some messages. It was about 4:30 a.m. My husband and I have a lot of marital issues, obviously. We had a Target order that needed returned, and he was going over to that side of town. The night before, I asked if he could please return it while he's there, and he said, sure, shoot him a text to remind him. So I did. That morning, I also verbally reminded him, and I reminded him again literally 1 minute before he walked out the door to grab the return. He said, okay, the fact that she has to do all of this is already exhausting. This whole thing up to this point has been exhausting. But this part, even without all of the abuse and hurting her, if you have to keep doing this, if you have to really micromanage your husband, you do not have a husband at all. This right here would be exhausting to me. All right, let's continue. When he got home, I asked if we got refunded, and he said he forgot to even get the return, that he got caught up with the trash and forgot about it. This has been going on nonstop. I will talk to him, or we will make a plan for something, and he's always forgetting or not remembering things we decide on or discuss. It sounds like this man is having an affair. He's been having an affair for a month, and he's trying to get out of this relationship. That's what it reads like to me. I believe this is being done on purpose, and he claims it's not. This has caused a lot of arguments and resentment on my end and leaves me feeling very frustrated. I have expressed to him if this is not being done on purpose, he needs to go see a physician because in my opinion, this is far from normal to be this uncoordinated, clumsy, and causing accidents that leave your partner hurt all the time. He swears it's not intentional, apologizes, but yet seems passive-aggressive at times, saying, well, accidents happen. It makes me not even believe anything he says. When he says he's sorry, he doesn't seem to be. This man hates this woman. This is not a safe relationship. This is not a safe man to be with. She needs to get away before he accidentally does something even worse than what he's doing. He's hurt her feet. He's slammed the door on her. He's hit her in the face. This is not a safe man. This is not a safe space to be in. Cocoa Butts Go Nuts, I love that name, says, babe, this man hates you and is actively abusing you. Do you really want your kid to watch you end up in the hospital or worse, a body bag? None of these are accidents. You are in danger. Make a plan and get out as soon as you can. And then this is where I was tagged in. She says, scary story of a 33-year-old loser that impregnated a 19-year-old only to lock her in as his punching bag. And yeah, like I said, I think that this man, if this has only been going on for a month, this is a lot to have happened in a month's time. The fact that they've been together for 6 or 7 years or whatever, and all of a sudden in a month, he's doing all of this. He wants out of this relationship. He wants her to walk away or something, because there's no other explanation for this. This man is cheating. So the OP responds to this very aggressive and mean-spirited comment, and I'm not even going to read the whole comment, but this person says, oh, you wanted the refund so bad. Why is it his responsibility? You don't seem to be doing except hanging out and stuffing your face anyway. Be productive and try actually helping out instead of being an obstacle for your husband to work around and putting in only 10% effort into anything you do. Nothing she said warranted this. Like literally, she hadn't even responded in the comments or anything. And he just decided that this woman was an obstacle and only eating and being and putting in 10% effort. This comment decided that all based on what I just read. Okay, so here's the OP saying, first of all, the return was his house shoes. Second of all, our garage is very big. He could have walked around his side of the car. We were waiting for our son to finish using the bathroom before leaving. There's nothing abnormal about sitting in your own car with the door open in a warm garage finishing some food. You're reaching so hard, it's pathetic. Third of all, he threw the item in the bag harder than even if I firmly held it, which I was, it still would have dropped on me. Lastly, and more triggering stuff, this man has choked me before and physically abused me multiple times. He says he knows he has an issue and even texts my family saying he knows he has a problem and wants to change. So absolutely, I think this stuff is being done on purpose, and I plan to leave. I agree with these comments here. This is never going to get any better. Someone after this says, we found the husband. And then the OP says, yeah, this sounds like something my husband would say, because the way this man came in all aggressively and acting like she's only doing 10%, and she didn't post any of that in her original post. So he came in with some irritation and some aggression. So if this is the husband, I mean, it makes sense why he was so mean-spirited in that comment. So someone asked the question, why wasn't this information in the original post? Talking about the choking and all of that. She says, this person says, what are you asking advice for? And so then the woman says, these comments have completely opened my eyes to things I've already known deep down for a long time. I'd rather be a single mother, happy and safe, than in this situation. My family has urged me for years to get out, and I continue to stay. I'm making a plan to leave with my child and plan to divorce him. I included just about all of this information in this post other than the choking. I figured I'd elaborate in the comments if needed. This guy was badgering me on why I was sitting in the car a certain way or why I didn't go do the return myself. I'm not sure how any of that is relevant. Plenty of married people run errands alone. I didn't think I'd have to include why I'd asked my husband to return something, but since he brought it up, I elaborated. They were indeed his items. Okay, so there we have it. She says she's planning on leaving. I hope that she's serious. I hope that all of these comments really did light a fire under her butt, because yes, this is abuse, and yes, this woman needs to get away. Let me know what you think. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share.